This isn't about what you see. It never was. It's about how much pretending we can fit inside one smile. They say to relax your shoulders, breathe deeper, or light a candle. But no one ever says, stop the theater.
Eerie Aquarium has warned you. Subliminal haunting is our game.
Act 1. The performance of calm. Well-being, as it turns out, is not the same as stillness. And stillness is not the same as being okay. I know how to hold a conversation while my mind runs. I know how to listen without being there. I know how to say it's nothing when it's clearly something. I've trained my voice to sound like it belongs in the room, even when my skin itches with the urge to vanish. How many of us are bored out of our brains beneath controlled laughter? How many carry their dissonance so gracefully they get complimented for it? I used to think panic looked like screaming, but sometimes panic is what happens when you smile too long, you take the bait, and you conform. Our demise is on a personal level. It's the theater, the race that we all accept. We fake and run and hide and reposition until the end of the race that we tend to forget about. And comfort, real comfort, doesn't take this much choreography. But choreography is all we know. Some days I catch myself mid-social rehearsal, repeating the same words to make them feel real. They're nice people. We're just different. Everyone's dealing with something. As if truth were a script, as if a performance is enough. But silence and adherence do not mean peace, and composure doesn't always mean strength. Sometimes it means no one's listening. I wonder how many people think they're hiding, when really they're begging to be seen, just not too clearly, not all at once. And so I've mastered the art of being present and unreachable, of being visible but not vulnerable. They think it's grace. It's survival. If you're hearing this, maybe you're wearing the same coat I am. Act 2. Secrets you keep by showing skin. You're certainly aware of how much someone can say without speaking a word. The way a sleeve slips, the way eyes linger and fade, the way a hand adjusts a strap, like it's never done it before. These aren't accidents. They're rehearsed silences. There's a kind of power in being looked at, even if the gaze is wrong, even if the intention is questionable, maybe especially when it's questionable. I've seen people dress to reveal, like they're guarding something, not hiding it, just framing it in distraction. The outfit doesn't mean what we think it means, and the body inside it has learned. That mystery is safer than clarity. It's more power, that's for sure. Some of the boldest choices are made by the most uncertain people. Risk assessment is not for everybody. Loud clothes, sharp angles, glossy skin, not to seduce, but to deflect. We talk a lot about honesty and expectations, but sometimes a little exposure is the most obvious lie. Some of us reveal just enough to hold control. They curate their vulnerability, like a product launch. And others take a seat, not knowing that being the audience is a role within a bigger play. The real audience is not amongst us. No, sir. They're staying outside, manipulating the shadows. Plato was onto something. And I understand it. When you don't feel seen for who you are, you learn to offer what people already expect. But the witty, they choose a different role. A conservative one in some ways. Not the political realm, but a personal self-protectionism through exhibitionism. Let them stare. Let them fill in the blanks with their own pre-written stories. It won't be you. You've been judging this content and my position since my first words. You're categorizing this as I speak. And the stranger this gets, the more clarity you'll have. It's all working nicely. There's comfort in that. A quiet relief in being reduced to something easy to judge instead of something difficult to understand. And what we don't say out loud is this. Sometimes it feels safer to be objectified than to be known. I failed at both myself, so I really do know. Because to be known means being unwrapped. It's time-consuming. I don't have enough of that. Not just your clothing, but your contradictions, your bruises, your noise, your reactions, your vote. And that kind of nakedness doesn't photograph well. That kind of truth never trends, so some of us pose, and we pretend the gaze doesn't matter, even as we shape ourselves to fit inside it. As a matter of fact, we learn to control the gaze, earning a promotion in this unavoidable play. Act 3. Small glitches in the persona. Not everything collapses all at once. Sometimes it's just a twitch, a hesitation in the middle of a word, a laugh that lands one beat late. The mask doesn't fall. It fades or slides, and we pretend not to notice. I've seen a crooked heel interrupted by grace, confidence boosted by a coffee stain, the moment where the button won't fasten, where the zipper doesn't cooperate, and for a second, the person inside the role becomes visible, a champion with a winning lotto ticket. You just need to know how to claim it, just for a breath. We don't always know what to do with that. Some people look away, others stare harder. A few recognize it, recognize the potential, the winning ticket, because we've all done it, played someone more stable than we are, more polished, more desirable, more collected, and more charismatic. But the act never fits perfectly. It always pinches somewhere. In the voice, in the posture, in the way we personalize our sentences. Or in our eyes, really. Like we're trying to convince the room when we need to command it. My favorite moments are the ones no one means to show. The subtle recoil when someone's complimented. The downward glance when someone's asked a personal information. The way hands fidget when they think no one's watching. Jittery eye movements. These are the real tells. Not the bold outfits, not the curated mess, not the perfect breakdowns that look good in slow motion. These are diversions, and successful ones for that matter. The truth is always in the glitch. The moment when the act falters. The silence that wasn't planned. The hurdles in the race. The climax of the play. The body revealing a thought the mouth was trying to bury. I've learned to listen for those, to read the skips in someone's rhythm. Because when someone forgets to perform, even for half a sentence, that's where they live. And maybe that's what I'm looking for. Not the whole person, just the fracture, the unguarded moment where someone becomes real. By mistake. Act 4. The rooms we inhabit emotionally. Some rooms change you. They ask for things you weren't planning to give. A certain kind of smile, a different kind of silence. A posture you learned from someone you never liked. I wanted to be the same person everywhere, but that meant honesty. And I needed to handle scenes in hotel lobbies, conference rooms and alike. Suddenly polite, back straighter, voice smoother, like I'm playing the role of someone worth speaking or checking in, a humiliating posture for seeking peace. And so I stopped. Eccentric is the route. People assume but are too intimidated to ask. It's like magic. At times, I caught glimpses of myself mid-transition, between the version I had just performed and the version I hadn't yet assembled. That's when I see it, the moment before changing the mask. And it's never pretty, but it's always interesting. This mostly happens in elevators. You're contained, observed, too close to strangers pretending not to notice each other. Everyone rehearsing their exit, their arrival, practicing the smile. Everyone adjusting their reflection in the black gloss of the door. I always stare at people in elevators, not visibly, just internally. No one notices. I stand there, the performance crumbling in silence, the numbers lighting up like countdowns to exposure. We think we're alone in some places, but the walls absorb, the tiles recognize you. The chairs where we once smiled too wide are still there. Rooms collect versions of us. The confident one from that rooftop bar. The person responsible from the meeting at work. The forgettable one from the corner at the concert later that same night. Some places I walk into and feel taller. Others make me shrink. And I wonder, is that memory? Or is it choreography? Maybe I've never really been consistent. Maybe I'm just a collection of adaptive echoes, bouncing off whatever walls happen to be nearby. It's not inauthentic. It's just survival, I guess. But sometimes I forget which version I started with. And worse, I worry that no room has ever wanted the real one. Act 5. The fear of being seen too accurately. There's a kind of safety in being misunderstood. You get to keep something, a secret layer, a version of yourself untouched by interpretation. But to be seen accurately, that's something else. That's exposure without permission. That's being mapped by someone else's morals. I've never had people look at me with too much clarity. The kind of gaze that doesn't flatter, doesn't desire or judge, just knows. And I wonder if that's normal, not because I will be misunderstood, but because I will be exposed internally, the real exposure. There's something violent about being reduced correctly. When someone expresses an argument making no sense at all, and they do it casually, like it was obvious. You want to scream, but your mouth is busy forming a smile. I've learned to nod politely, to thank them for their insight. But I was told I'm not good at it. And then I leave the room and wash my hands for too long, like their idiocy left a stain. It's strange how often I fake connection while guarding myself like a crime scene. I don't mind playing a role in the play, but I want the character to be something I built, not something they found. I want to be seen through a filter, don't you? You could theoretically be special, but most of us do. There's a reason for this, a reason we perform. We've seen what happens to the ones who don't. They're labeled raw. In fact, no one really wants the whole truth. They want the packaging, the illusion of depth without the weight of it. So we offer up the fragments, the seductive ones, the tragic ones, the clever ones, and keep the rest in the quiet part of our spine. Because once someone sees you completely, the mystery dies. And a lot of the times, that's all you had left. Act 6. Emotional prostitution. Somewhere along the way, we learn to break in a way that looks good, not heal. Break. Gracefully, photogenically. We don't cry anymore, we glisten. Even collapse has an aesthetic now. A certain tilt of the head. A smear of mascara just tragic enough. The wet glint of vulnerability without the mess. It's not pain we offer. It's a curated glimpse of it. We've been trained by screens, by stories, by each other, to reveal only what others can admire. And when we can't admire it, we cancel it, like content, like art. I've seen people fall apart in perfect lighting, as if their nervous breakdown were staged for a documentary, as if the lighting crew were just out of frame. We've turned anguish into performance, and the audience, they reward us for it. So brave, so raw, so honest. But do you want to stop now? We don't want recovery. We want climax. The tears at just the right moment. The voice cracking during the confession. The silence timed for dramatic effect. I've done it too. It's just that I'm not good at it. Not for meaning, mind you, just for mood. Because if I'm gonna suffer, I want the suffering to be compelling. I want it to justify itself. And the worst part, I'm not sure I know how to feel anymore, without wondering what it looks like. There's a part of me that hopes someone, somewhere, is watching, not to help, just to witness, just to validate that it was worth something, that the collapse was cinematic. This isn't about what you see. It never was. I've said that before, haven't I? At the beginning, when I still believed it. But now I wonder, maybe it's only about what you see. Maybe the performance is the person. Maybe the silence wasn't protection. Maybe it was decoration. Something to shape the chaos. Something to make the pain look polite. I used to think I was just tired. But now I think I'm rehearsed. Even this moment, these words, this AI voice, hasn't it all been performed? I ask you to see me. In a way I no longer see myself. I offer you fragments, arranged for impact. And when this ends, when the screen goes black, and the silence returns, I'll still be here, back in my body, back in the costume, back on the stage, waiting for the next gaze, the next scene, the next glitch. Because the loop doesn't end. It just resets. And we pretend, again, that we're real. If you're still watching, you already know. You belong here. So go ahead. Click the thing, sink in, and welcome to the aquarium.